So ever since the end of the Ezio trilogy, I always wondered what the next Assassin's Creed sequel will be, and if we will ever have another protagonist for more than just one game. And obviously that has not happened, as each game has introduced us with someone new. So just for fun, and me being the big Assassin's Creed fan that I am, I started to come up with some ideas for what I personally think would be a really great Assassin's Creed sequel that would continue to push the narrative forward and allow us to experience and further watch some old characters. So I thought about what would be the best time period and best character for this, and which character has the perfect opportunity for a sequel. To me, this ultimately boiled down to Arno and Bayek. Both characters underwent some big development, and the ending to Unity and Origins left the door open for potential sequels. Being the Unity fanboy that I am, I really wanted to think of a good sequel for Arno because he grew so much during Unity's story and in the Dead Kings DLC, and I know a lot of us, me included, want to see another game with Arno. And I believe I found a great opportunity for a really good story that would not only satisfy the old fans but also appeal to a new audience. One thing that has always bothered me and was left unsettled was the murder of Arno's father, Charles Dorian. And spoiler coming here just in case you haven't played AC Rogue, but Arno never found out who killed his father and why. He would eventually learn that his father was an assassin, but you would think that such a huge event in his life and him never getting any closure as to why his father was killed would be a big deal to Arno. I mean, when De La Serre died, he went after his killer tirelessly, so why wouldn't he do the same for his own father? While Arno may not know who his father's killer is, we the audience do. It was Shay Cormac, the protagonist from Assassin's Creed Rogue, and this is where I thought of a really cool idea. What if Arno finally got some sort of hint or clue as to who killed his father and decided to go after him? This game would allow you to play both sides of the conflict. On the side of the assassins, you play as Arno as he investigates and hunts down Shay and the Templars, while at the same time we could also be playing as Shay, who's trying to rebuild the Templar Order and restore it after Connor from AC3 dealt a huge blow to the Templars. This will not only allow us to play in the biggest Assassins versus Templar arc yet, but it will also allow us to learn more and play as not only one Assassin's Creed protagonist, but two. Alternating between both sides as they hunt each other down also would introduce a new and unique take of the series and satisfy Assassin's Creed fans of the old games who've been wanting a more niche story and gameplay, along with some of the new fans who don't really know anything about Assassin's Creed and just want a fun action game. This game would also allow for a deep personal rivalry between Arno and Shay that goes far beyond just mere assassin and Templar, and it would be up to you on who you'd like to side with and who's the hero and who's the villain of this story. Assassin's Creed Rogue and Assassin's Creed 3 were the first games to show us a good side of the Templars and really allow us to see what their true goals were. Up until this point, they were always just known as the bad guys, and I love the idea of exploring stories through their perspective and maybe not seeing the assassins as only the heroes. This game would be able to take this idea to a whole new level, and with dialogue choices and game-based decisions, you could decide for yourself which character and which brotherhood is in the right. Another thing that has a lot of potential in Assassin's Creed that has been abandoned is the possibility for co-op and multiplayer, and this setting is perfect for these types of modes. There could be a 1 versus 1 multiplayer mode where one player plays as Arno and the other as Shay as you try to stealth your way around a map and be the first to assassinate the other, or perhaps taking this to a bigger scale by allowing like a 10 versus 10 match of assassins versus Templars, multiple different objectives and possible game modes, which I think would be really cool. Or there's even the possibility of playing the story in a co-op experience if that's how you choose to play, as you can play as Arno or Shay and your friend as the other. And this game also has the freedom to take place really wherever Ubisoft sees fit. We know from the end of Dead Kings that Arno really has nothing left tying him to France, and Shay has already been traveling all across the globe trying to restore the Templars, so the creative freedom is endless. Now as for the gameplay, I may be a bit biased, but I would really prefer this game to go back to its roots, drop all the RPG inspired loot and combat, and instead go for the more action adventure approach like the previous games and like newer games like Ghost of Tsushima, for example. I point to Ghost of Tsushima a lot when I try to explain to people what I want Assassin's Creed to be like, and Ghost of Tsushima proved that you don't have to be an open world RPG in 2021 them to sell your game. But really what AC should take from Ghost of Tsushima is the game's incredible combat. Instead of this boring and grindy combat system from Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, this sequel should have quicker and more realistic kill times, button combos, and smoother movement, and for the love of God, please make the parkour viable again. And the stealth should be more aggressive and fast-paced instead of slow and clunky. Unity had great gameplay mechanics that were ruined because of bugs, and I think this new hybrid of Ghost of Tsushima and old AC games would be enjoyable for fans of the old games and the new. This great sequel story, the ability to play as both Arno and Shay with a fresh new gameplay loop, and take all that with what Ubisoft is capable graphically speaking, and you have one absolute beauty of a game. Many people believe AC Unity is still the best looking Assassin's Creed game, and there's no doubt the game is stunning, and to think it can be even better than that with this game would make it an incredible experience. Now obviously we would hope Ubisoft learn their lessons with releasing unfinished games and make sure their launches are polished now, so hopefully nothing detrimental would happen like it did with Unity. But that sums up my idea for what I would think would be the perfect Assassin's Creed sequel. Now will Ubisoft actually ever do anything remotely close to this? Definitely not. We will probably just get some RPG unrelated to Assassin's Creed that takes place in a popular time period, but hey, it's always fun to imagine and come up with what would be a great game, and I know a lot of you who watch my videos would really enjoy a game like this. Also, feel free to put some titles down in the comments. I was hoping we could call this Assassin's Creed 5, as it is a sequel and directly involves the main canon, but if you guys got any good names or extra ideas even, then I would love to read them in the comments and we can all discuss the perfect Assassin's Creed game together. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you considered subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks for watching and stay stealthy, Assassins.